I've just bought the cheapest entire carp fishing setup I could find on Amazon. Now there's a few questions we need answered. Is it gonna last 24 hours? Can we catch carp on it? Is it worth the money? Let's find out. Ooh. This is what the bivvy comes in. Can you see why I'm concerned? that's the as you can see, the braids that you get with these are zebra coloured. That's going to blend in really well with this grey bottom. Just grab the net that's part of the kit, £150 kit. You see that first eye? I mean, a landing net's a landing net. You're not going to spend 200 quid on it, are you? Do you know what? I predicted storms today and rain for the whole day. What load of that was. Right. Let's see if this alarm still works. Well, wonky rod, it's being emotional, my friend.
Right, you legends, I decided to buy this entire carp fishing kit off Amazon for a mere 150 quid. That's right, no stinking carp tax here. But what do you get for that 150 quid? Well, basically everything you see in this picture. So let's run through it. 3 12-foot 2.75 pound test curve carp rods. 3 bait runner reels preloaded with line. 1 42-inch landing net. 1 unhooking mat. 3 carp bite alarms. 1 rod pod. 3 bite alarm swingers. 1 bag of boilies, 3 baiting needles, 3 1.5 ounce leads, 6 barbless hair rigs, carp rod bag, 1 bivvy. Not a bad haul, eh, for 150 quid. But will it hold up? To test this, I booked onto Alder Lake at Coking Farm, where there is a good chance of a bite and maybe even a chance of hooking a powerful catfish to put the gear through its paces.
Hey, well, I've arrived at Coking Farm. And I'm on Alder Lake and the rain's about to get in, so the first bit of kit from this whole carp setup I'm going to get out that I haven't seen yet either. I didn't open it and it's probably the bit of kit that's concerning me the most is the bivvy. It's in a really, really small bag. This is what the bivvy comes in. Open carp. Can you see why I'm concerned?
And my fears were confirmed.
I mean, okay, we'll try and look at the positives. There's not many positives with this shelter. Phone pockets, keys, put your keys in the phone in case you know, keep them out there. I mean, it's more of a child size day shelter. It's not a bivvy, there's no way a bed chair's coming in here. Not the best impressed for this. I think what I'm going to use this for in this session is storage.
There was no way this was suitable for an overnighter in a storm. I had no choice but to whack out an emergency brolly I'd brought with me. Bear in mind I'd never done a night under a brolly before, so even still this was all quite new to me. So first thing to take away, the quote marks bivvy will not be suitable for a night, unless you're maybe this size.
South Coast Angler, come on. Hi!
With my 1.5 shelters up, it was time to get the rod pod and alarms out. Now, normally I don't care for aesthetics too much in carp fishing. However, one thing I realised with this pod is how high up your rods are on this. With this being fixed, unable to adjust the height, I did have quite a slight concern about the whole pod tipping over. However, apart from that, I was genuinely quite content with this. Something else did catch my attention though.
Now I must admit, height wise, I mean this is pretty far off the ground, doesn't really look very fashionable, but these swingers are concerning me a bit because they're very stiff. that's the swinger. It's very stiff at the joint, so I don't know how much swinging it's going to actually do. I have to keep it like that, and then when I get a bite, just let it come to about then and it sticks, and then I can. Looks like it's happy to see me. So yeah, they're a bit concerning. But the rod pod's out. Let's see what the rods are like. Let's get the rods out. Let's get some bait out there and get them on the pods. Here, I haven't even put any rods out. Look, there's one swimming right here. literally right there. Don't know if you could see that, but yeah, he's swimming around with his back. Sorry about the rod. I wonder if you were able to see this. So look, in line with the reel where it sits, you see that first eye? That is a bit on the wonk, isn't it? Look at that. Can't even adjust it because it's the first eye. Do you know what? That's gonna be my lucky rod. That's gonna be my margin rod. I want to use that. The wonky rod is gonna be my lucky rod. Well, I tell you what, this is the first time I've sat actually. I'm gonna fish underneath a brolly in my life. Thank God I brought this thing. This was an emergency backup because I hadn't seen that day shelter, which is so small. That is not suitable for any overnighter. So when you buy this kit, that bivvy, you are not gonna get a bed chair in it, and it's pretty much the size for a child. So that's one thing for the list, that kit, the whole, buying the entire carp setup doesn't provide you a bivvy. So you're gonna have to get your own. You can get little brollies like this, that'll do the job. But yeah, you're gonna have to get your own bivvy. Right, one thing I'm gonna do on these rods is get 200 grams of strawberry boilies, get a couple of these on as hook baits, and I'm gonna put them on both rods to begin with, and then the other rod I'm actually gonna put some OG fish boilies around it, but with this still as a hook bait. Also, get that on, the kit does provide you with some bait and needles. Get these on, one of the hair rigs that come with it. Get it on the hair rig, and let's crack on. I've discovered the next thing the kit doesn't provide you, lead clips. Doesn't provide you lead clips. So I've got these two. These are cheap. The lead, this is a tail rubber and a lead clip. Cheap off Amazon. I'll show you the packet I bought of that. I'll put the link in the description below so you can have a look yourself. To be fair, they do smell like strawberry. Ben, Parker, if you're watching, I haven't betrayed you. Don't worry, this doesn't have double dusting like yours. Oh, it's quite hard. Not the softest of boilies. Oh. Oh. Right. So I put the baiting needle through. As you can see, it's quite a thick baiting needle. It's cracked the boilie. I am determined there's going to be something in this package that is going to be worthwhile getting, and you watch. I'm going to catch some carp on this gear and prove to everyone that you don't have to spend massive amounts of money. Oh, there you go, that's better. Right, here's my rig. What I'm going for the ready tide, just the usual basic, and I'm going size 6 hair rig. And another thing this kit doesn't provide you, hair stops, as my missus like to call them. They look like butt plugs. So get yourself some hair stops. Third time lucky. As you can see, the braids that you get with these are zebra coloured. That's going to blend in really well with this grey clay bottom. Boilies on. Nice presentation actually. Right, let's get the hair rig on. Last but not least, for the final bit, I've got some leads that the kit provides. So I've got 3 leads. I think they're all NGT leads, and they're 1.5 ounce leads. So nice and light lead. Gonna clip this on. Here you go. 1.5 ounce NGT lead. And that, my friends, is the finished rig. Let's see if this is good enough. Catch us a carp, strawberry boilie, 1.5 ounce lead, simple hair rig. Hopefully so. There are a lot of carp in here. I've seen a lot of embossing. Let's see what we can do.
With the rigs all set up and ready to be put out, I whacked the left-hand rod down the left-hand margin, close to where I saw that carp swimming before. I scattered some strawberry boilies over the top along with some OG fish pellets, hoping that this will add a bit more smell into the water. Remember, if you fancy trying out some Parker baits yourself, make sure to use code CHUNKY for 10% off. And if you want to check out this carp set on Amazon, I've left a link in the description below, so go check it out. Now that the first rod was out, it was time for the second.
Lucky bent rod, a wonky rod, going out. Let's try and... Leave it there. Nothing's happened within the hour. Take them out, have a look. Oh, these little ball bearings are pretty tight.
With both rods out, it was down to the waiting game. I must admit, I was slightly nervous. If I hooked up, would these ready-made hair rigs hold up? Would the reels freeze if the fish wanted to take line? Would the alarms even work? It didn't take long for me to figure out the answers to these questions.
Ooh, we're in. Right, one thing. Gotta get this. There you go. Right, line's out. Right, we're in. See how the new gear plays. Nice loose clutch. A nice loose clutch. And look at what it is. It's the wonky rod. Wonky rod has got us a bite. But I must admit, that's not on the strawberry boilie. There you go. Bit of drag on the reel. Alright. Let's get the bloody net. Alright, the landing net, guys. That comes in the pack. That was not long after we cast the wonky rod out. Oh, there. Hopefully. Oh, these rods are so soft. Hopefully this little girl stays on. Then the landing net. There you go. Job's a good one. Right, before we take out that carp and have a little look at her, one thing that comes in the pack is this landing mat. But it's really quite thin and it's got obviously not a cradle. The rules at Coking Farm here, you need a cradle. So, one thing that you obviously might want to invest in, because more and more fisheries are doing it now for the fish safety, is get a little cradle. You can get some quite cheap ones. Get a little cradle, that does you the job. Right, let's get this little pecker out, shall we? You are a little angry little devil. There you go. Little lovely dark mirror, first one of the trip. Probably about £4 or £5, over than that maybe. And yeah, good start. Just before I got some food on, so happy days. Lovely little mouth on her. Let's get her back, and hopefully we'll catch a few more, maybe some bigger ones on this gear.
What an absolute little dark stunner. Not the biggest of fish, but boy does she look pretty. The gear held up. I was so relieved that the reels worked, the alarm went off and the bait runner worked. The rod held up nice and easy. Just goes to show that this gear, even though cheap and rough around the edges, it can land your carp.
There you have it. You can catch fish on this cheap gear, even though it's, like I said, it's rough around the edges. That was caught on that zebra coloured braid. However, it wasn't the strawberry boilie, it was actually a white magic bean. The rod held up, the reel actually played. It's a bit sticky, the drag, but it gives line if you have it nice and generous on the clutch. Negatives, those swingers are so tight. I had to actually unclip the line as the fish was running, which was a bit of a nightmare. So next time a bite goes, I'm gonna have to unclip that line first from the swinger and then start playing the fish. That was just before I was gonna get some food. I'm bloody starving, so I need my meat. So I'm gonna get cooking. The weather's holding out. It's supposed to be storms today, so the weather's holding out, which is good. But yeah, one down. Hopefully that's from the island, and after about 10 minutes putting out. So hopefully we can get a few more. I've put some more bait out there, keep them interested, bit of pellet, bit of boilies. Hopefully we can get a few more. The other thing in there that I didn't mention before, the lander net netted the fish all well. It's quite a shallow net, but it did the job. It got the fish in. I mean, a lander net's a lander net. You're not going to spend 200 quid on it, are you? Right, I'm gonna get some food on.
With one fish now bagged, it was certainly time to get some food on. I was hoping that the much needed calorie injection would be enough to get me through many more carp. After the munch was devoured, and after some time spent looking at the water, I decided to reel in the left-hand margin rod and swing it back out towards some showing fish on the left-hand side of the island. When the rod was in, I noticed a little flaw with the ready-made rigs.
One thing I'm noticing on these rigs, see that black bit of tubing by the hook? It's basically where the anti-tangle tubing should be, and it keeps sliding down, which is a bit annoying, so I might cut that off, put an actual anti-tangle sleeve on there. The hook though, from catching that fish, still sharp. Nice sharp hook still, that's good.
Heating that black tubing with a lighter seemed to do the trick of solving the slippage problem, so I got the rod out to that left-hand spot of the island and it was back to the carp cods. Luckily, there wasn't too much waiting around before I got a response from them.
Oh, that's a bit better. There you go, second bite. How long was that, mate? What was your name?
About Finn.
Finn, come in if you want, mate. Got Finn here. Parker baits, lad. How long do you reckon that was after we cast that to the island?
Oh, less than 2 minutes probably. Not even that.
weren't long.
Yeah.
We are in.
There's one washing over there.
And that was basically, I think, the tighter to the island you get, the better. Because that was quite tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might be maybe a bit undercut as well. It was just taken off. That's right, where's your net?
Yeah, if you get that net, mate.
Can't mind this one.
Beautiful. So Finn's just grabbed the net that's part of the kit. £150 kit. Oh! There you go, you can hear the reel. It's quite a loud drag, loud clutch on it. But if they want to run, see how soft these bloody rods are. Good bend in it. Yeah, no pressure, Finn, mate. You bump it off, you're getting kicked in.
Would have been the first one though.
It's quite nice playing carp again with soft rods, to be fair. But then this is my lucky rod because it's wonky, I'll show you. If you look at the first eye, in line with the reel spigot, right there, it's wonky. On a clay bottom. Yeah, look at that little guy. OG fish wafter. OG fish wafter doing it on that one. Still need to catch on the bloody strawberry boilies. Alright, sort that out. Alright guys, here you go, second fish of the trip. The gear proving it's okay. It's a lovely little pale mirror. And it's active because it's been resting in the net, so it's going to beat me up probably on the bank. See you in a bit, mate. Thanks to Finn for netting it for me. Another Park Baits boy, but yeah. Second fish. Skinny little mirror. Probably put on a bit of weight to get that leech off here. And yeah, the gear working, doing the trick. It's a good bit of fun here. You don't have to spend too much on a whole carp set to get fishing. Get the carp out. Lovely mouth now. And now you're behaving for me. What a lovely fish. That'll do. Let's get her back. Tight to the island is the key. Okay, I'm actually just got to readjust the rods in a minute. I'm going to put that right, the wonky rod, the lucky rod that's done me the 2 bites so far. I'm going to put that closer to the island because it's as tight to the island as doing the bites at the moment. But to give it a little bit extra, this isn't what's in the pack either. This is something I'm going to use that's not part of the £150 entire carp setup pack. Tubing, mesh tubing to make a solid bag. Now this is actually from Solid Angling Solutions. They sent me a little test kit. It's a little one boilie sort of stringer almost tube they've sent me, but I've made a couple mesh bags up already. Hopefully these can entice more bites. Alright, so I just got done on the left hand rod. I've put it out there. So we're going to put it back out. Get the mesh bag back on it, and hopefully we can catch on these bloody strawberry boilies. Hopefully we can. So before I do the rods again, ready for the night, just thought we'd go through some of the kit. Stuff that I like, stuff that I think needs a bit of improvement. First thing, let's go through things that I like. The rods. Even though I've got a bit of a wonky one, they still feel quite nice just to play fish on there. About 2.5 or 2.75 pound test curve. So it makes playing fish really fun. They're very soft. For little waters like this, you're not going to do big chucks. Leads, they do the job, only 1.5 ounce, but obviously the fish are still hooking themselves on there. It's not normally what I fish with. I normally fish with 4 ounce leads, but yeah, it seems to be doing the job. The reels, they're a bit clunky, but for the price, the bait runners work, so the rods aren't getting dragged in when the fish actually picks up your bait. They're not getting dragged in. And the drag works, the clutch works. If the fish wants to take line, it's going to take line. The alarms, they do work. It takes a bit of a rollover for the alarm to set off. The alarm does work though. I haven't had to test it in rain. I think the rain is due tomorrow, so we'll see it then. The rod pod's holding strong so far. It's still obviously a bit unsturdy, but it's doing the job. If you want practicality, it's going to work. Doesn't look the prettiest of rod pods, but it works. The landing net, very basic, 2-part handle, but it's netted the fish, it's fine. It feels quite sturdy, which is good. It's probably the best bit of kit so far. Things I don't like. The hair rigs can be a bit funny. There's not much of a hair on the rig, and also the bit of tubing that comes on it, which is almost acts as a bit of anti-tangle sleeving. It slips down, so I've actually cut that off, both of them now. This is advertised as a bivvy. It's not a bivvy. I'm sitting on the floor here and I'm half out of it forwards because it's so bloody small. You're going to need to get a bivvy if you want to do a 24-hour carp fishing session. And obviously the landing mat is a bit thin. It's almost sort of like a river sort of coarse fishing mat for silvers, so that's not going to be appropriate for lakes like here where the rules are the walls on the edges of it like a cradle, so you might have to look at getting another cradle. So far the strawberry boilies haven't produced so far. I wasn't sort of not too surprised about that. But yeah, they haven't produced, which is a bit frustrating, but overall not too bad. I want to see if we can get a bigger fish on this gear. There are big catfish in here, so tonight what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to load up on the pellet, and I'm actually going to fill it in a bit and start getting a lot of pellet out there. See if we can get a cat on one of these rods and one of these rigs. That would be pretty cool to see. I'm going to get cracking, get the rods ready for the evening, get some bait out there.
After whacking out a generous amount of OG fish pellets and boilies, I put the rods back on the spots. I would like to say I was fishing confidently, but this was a true eye-opener into that old cliche saying, fish with what you are confident with. I was extremely aware of my self-doubt in the rigs, considering they were so different to what I normally use. Whether it makes that much of a difference is still a bit of a mystery. A bit like the mystery of why the fish had slowed down for the evening, with the rods remaining silent. Well, at least Coking provided a lovely view before the inevitable darkness of night rolled in.
When fishing with budget gear, I hate those guys so much. Where's my shotgun at? Where did the phrase, using the adjective, cheeky for food, when did that start? Was it Nando's? I want to know who's actually invented that and who started it. It sounds like something that an overweight middle-aged woman created, who was eating something that she knew she shouldn't be, but deemed it as cheeky. Don't you think? Note to self, guys. Oh, 15mm boilies. It's a bit tight on this little tube. Oh, do the job. Oh, okay. With the plunger, they do get through. Just a bit tight. Oh, it's a bit like Tyrone going to Thailand. I'm just gonna go on the massive long trek back to the car to get some water. But I thought I would show the extent of how small this bivvy is. Okay. Well, I was going to, but I had a nibble. Was anyone actually supposed to get a bed check for this? Can I lie down? My head's hitting the thing, but I can't fully, I have to have a foot out. I'm like lying like this. Even though I've had 2 fish from here, if I don't get any more, I know the Camo King is going to be like, wow, you only got 2 fish in the reservoir, it's pretty much blanking, isn't it? And I'll pretend like it doesn't bother me. But it'll eat up there. Do you know what, I predicted storms today and rain throughout the whole day. What load of that was. Is the weather forecast ever right? I don't think it is. Good morning, everyone. Well, that farmer's saying red sky tonight, shepherd's delight. It's a load of shit, isn't it? As you might be able to tell, there's one rod left on there, the wonky pod. My lucky wonky rod went off again at about 2 AM. Bit of a weird occurrence, playing the fish in, didn't see it. Thought it was a hook pull, but having a look at the zebra coloured hook link, there's no hook left. The hook's come off. It looks like the hook link's been cut. Right, this is the rod that the hook went missing from. Look at that. See, it's all rubbed up. I'm pretty sure that was the mouth of a catfish. Now that would only indicate that that fish could have been a catfish. And the hook link's rubbed on its abrasive pads. Bit gutted, but I left the rod out because I'm absolutely shattered. Let it hang in on the child-sized or Aaron-sized bivvy. But I haven't had another pickup on the other rod, so it makes me... I have to admit, using these rigs, I just, you know, when you're fishing, you just don't feel confident. You don't feel confident with what you're fishing with, but that's part of the challenge. We have caught on it. I just keep thinking we could have caught more. That one boshing. Could have caught more if it was my own setup, maybe PVA bags, my Pickering rigs. Yeah. But hey ho. At least this weather's going to give us a good opportunity to see if those alarms have held out. Go check that alarm works still. And to be honest, I'm going to do a slow pack down. Start packing up the gear, nice and wet, ready to take home. Right, let's see if this alarm still works. Still goes, the water hasn't killed it. It's good to see.
In the miserable rain, I started the slow pack down, but was quietly reflecting on how much of a success this trip had been. I came out here to answer some questions. Will the gear last 24 hours? I say on the most part, yes. The rain had not impacted the alarms and the reels were still fit for purpose. However, we must take note that the bivvy was not suitable for a 24-hour session. That bloody thing had one last trick with me as well.
This is another thing I've noticed about this bivvy. There's no way I'm getting that back in that little bag.
Could the kit catch carp? Obviously yes. This gear allowed me to catch, although not the biggest, a couple of right little scrappers, with one of them being a beautiful dark little mirror. And finally, is it all worth £150? I'm going to say yes. In a world full of expensive carp gear, this goes to show you don't need to spend copious amounts of money to catch carp. I really have enjoyed my time here at Coking, and there is a part of me that thinks I have some unfinished business on Alder Lake. We never did get to see the gear bring in a big catfish, did we? Tell you what, if this video reaches 200 likes, then I'll come back with the same gear and try and hook one of those big slugs. I hope you enjoyed that little venture, guys, and the Amazon challenge. I hope I have earned your like and subscription, and remember, drop your guts, grab your nuts, and I'll see you on the bank.